Hey y'all, Trevor with Leaf, and today we are going to be reviewing this Gargantuan Grape Live Rosin Amplified Distillate 510 Vape Cart. The name's a mouthful. I know it was the last time we had it with that coconut watermelon version, but this time around we're diving into the grape, and I'm hoping we get a very rich and flavorful experience. But with that being said, let's kick our intro in here and dive through the information and review of this vape cart. Welcome back, everyone, and as I said in the intro, today we are reviewing the Gargantuan Grape Live Rosin Amplified Distillate 510 Vape Cart from the folks over at Frooty Hooty. It's a mouthful, but it gives you the exact description of what we are going to be reviewing today. It is a Live Rosin Amplified Distillate 510 Vape Cart. So, this is a distillate cart, folks. However, it has been incorporated with some live rosin. That's giving us a little bit of a broader band. Some could say full spec based experience depending on how that live rosin is introduced. And overall providing a different flavor breakdown for this experience. I personally really enjoyed that watermelon coconut rendition. I could see it being a huge draw for people who want to transition from purely distillate experiences to more of that full spectrum offering. And honestly, Frooty Hooty being a brand that works with the Astro Labs folk, I'm really impressed with the quality that they have been producing. So honestly, I cannot wait to dive into this review and get into this 510 vape cart. But first, we'll go over the little bit of information, or crack the tube open, and then we can start dabbing away this vape cart. It came in with a THC total of 89%. We have a CBD total of 0.2%. Terpenes are at 4.9%. It was packaged on the 3rd of November, 2023. Now, when I crack open that tube, I smell nothing but a pure soda pop candy kind of aroma coming off of this. Absolutely fantastic experience for me. I love that synthetic grape experience if and only if it kind of falls along the lines of the Flintstones vitamin candies or that bottle caps candy. Now, that being said, we've got the debunk battery ready to rock. We've got it on its lowest temperature. We're going to get our Herbage Kill intro in here right now, and then I'll rip you through all three temperatures with this battery, and then the other two batteries will follow up with that same 3-rip breakdown. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are all as well. Let's get into it. Welcome back, all. Let's go ahead and take this first of 3 rips. Do need to open up the seal that I have on this. I cranked it a little bit too tight, and that definitely restricted the airflow, but a nice grape-esque experience. It's not necessarily the most dominant grape flavor, but I don't expect it to be from the first draw. This is definitely going to be one of those experiences that stacks and builds as we work our way through these 9 draws on the battery and vape cartridge combo before we switch over to those final 6 draws through the rigs. So far, really light kind of grape experience. It definitely leans more into a I don't really know how to describe it. It's not that grape grape candy like I was describing. It doesn't really have that kind of powdery grape flavor profile to it. It's a little bit more like a grape flavored medicine kind of experience to it. a little bit sharper, a little bit of a more tongue bite on the actual kind of sharp is really the best way to describe it, flavor profile, because it's like needle point attacks on my tongue versus being a warm blanket that coats it. When it comes to those kind of powdery candied flavors, I find that grape just is a nice light coating that layers over my tongue and just gives me a flavor blanket, where it's a little bit more aggressive. It's kind of sharp and attacks the nerves on my tongue and overall taste buds. Let's take this highest temp rib. It's a smooth experience. Like, hey guys, as I was saying, it's a smooth experience. I've got a little bit of a chest cold right now, so I've got some extra phlegm, and that's definitely factoring into the amount of coughs I'm having right now. The actual draw itself, really smooth. The effects that come off it, really nice. And it's a builder. Like, this builds up quite nicely, very similar to what that watermelon coconut did. However, with that being said, this has a little bit more relaxing onset than that watermelon coconut. So this grape might actually provide a more beneficial effect and experience for me so far. Now, we've got our, what I found out is not Avid Pulse, but Avio Pulse. That's an O at the end, not a D. We're going to dive into that and see exactly what this tastes like with the different battery combos. Cheers. Really nice experience here. That extra airflow that this battery provides over the debunk is a huge improvement. I definitely like this subtler flavor that this grape has to offer. It is still close to that medicinal kind of grape flavor that grape Dynatap, stuff along those lines that have that really distinctive kind of chemically grape experience. Even though it's not real chemically, it's that super synthesized flavor that's on the more chem side than it is the chalky, powdery side. Let's hit this at the second temp. The flavor continues to provide a really nice experience. And honestly, folks, if I didn't have this little bit of a mucus buildup and chest cold that I have right now, I definitely would not be coughing to the same degree that I am right now, because it's definitely that kind of junk that I've got sitting in my lungs that's causing this to fight back so hard versus the actual cart itself, because the actual inhale and exhale of this experience is fantastic. So I don't know, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. Let's hit it at its highest temp with a quick sip so that we don't die, and then we'll move over to the high north battery. This is going to match the original battery for an 8 out of 10. I know I didn't score it there, but I will have both of the scores sitting here because I don't expect a super explosive flavor through this final temp. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. It's a smooth experience. It has a really nice flavor profile, but at the exact same time, it's not the grape experience that I personally am looking for. So I can't go 9s or 10s, but I can absolutely go 8 out of 10 for a highly distinctive experience on the flavor profile, and at the exact same time, a smooth, effective, and overall intoxicating effect coming from this vape cart, because I can feel the effects building up, and it definitely has a nice heavy intoxication level that comes with it, because it's that cerebral kind of floatiness that makes you feel like you're drifting away. And that's where that term intoxication is very distinctive for that spacey, cerebral, kind of lose yourself effect. It's not something I would tack on every experience, but it is ones that would fall into that kind of spacey, warm, glowy euphoria that is kind of best described with that term, in my opinion, for cannabis. Now, we're going to move on and dive into our last battery, the High North, with the dial on the bottom. It is set to 2.8 volts. We'll then go to 3.3 and then finish off at somewhere between 3.8 and 4.2. Start things off with that light sip. Lighter flavor profile than what I've gotten through the other two batteries, but still consistent flavor profile. Definitely diminished. I think that Avo is going to be our best battery just because it doesn't have as large of ports as this High North does, but it isn't as constricted as the overall debunk battery that causes really intensive draw clouds. That Avo Pulse had amazing flavor, and it still produced clouds big enough that it caused me to cough a little bit. At the same time, the flavor profile and that intensity was perfectly combined. Here, a little bit lackluster. Let's hit that second draw. Same thing. Like, I can feel the effect stacking, but I definitely don't experience that heavy or intensive flavor. Let's hit it with its final draw. I think I might actually give this one a 7 out of 10. It's just lacking a lot of that flavor profile that the Avo and Debunk could provide. So we're actually going to use those two batteries for our final two rips. The Avo going first. No. The Avo placing first and going second. The Debunked being its second favorite experience, going first with that smaller rig. So let's take this final draw, give this a 7 out of 10, and slide over to the rigs. Cheers. Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and rip through these 6 experiences with the battery and rigs. Cheers. Nice light flavor. Definitely loses a lot of that explosive experience and that kind of sharp tongue tickling offering for that flavor. It doesn't have anywhere near the intensity that it did at the beginning. Overall, really nice experience, but definitely about 60% of the intensity that I got without the water filtration. Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and enjoy our final 3 rips. Cheers. Nice light flavor, definitely subtle in comparison to what the battery and cartridge alone had to offer. There's some formulations that need that little bit of filtration, and there's others that are definitely diminished by it. This one's diminished. Yeah. Had to search for it. Wasn't really much flavor there. A 7 out of 10 is going to be a fair score for the taste through the rigs. This just isn't one of those cartridges that showcase a huge improvement or overall better flavor profile through the rigs. And it leans more into that grape offering versus the actual terpene formulation here, because any grape-based genetic I typically don't find as the most flavorful offering, especially through the rigs, because it's not my typical go-to. I'm a little bit more of like a citrus or that earthy, rich, cushy experience. Those kind of tend to be my two major frameworks that I start to work out of. Now with that cushy genetic, it does broad into some very wide expanding areas. Cakes, that chocolates, anything that's rich and kind of chemi as well. Like there's lots of variation to that experience. Grape just usually isn't on the top of my list. It kind of falls within that same experience as berries, where it just doesn't always hit with that flavor profile that I personally love. But I've never been one of those people who needs to have some sort of grape flavored candy or stuff along those lines. I'll usually pass that up and give it to someone who's more excited to have it, in trade for the citrus or a little bit more acidic and sour based candies. That's always where my preference has leaned. So a 7 out of 10 for the rigs is more so due to just the lack of intense flavor pushing through that water filtration, but this isn't a bad sign. It showcases that they formulated a very good quality product to be just utilized with a 510 vape battery, and that's how 99% of the people consuming these cartridges are going to enjoy them, is just the battery and the cartridge itself. And honestly, that would be my preferred method of consumption with this cart. And actually on the Avo Pulse, because it provides the best offering for the lungs of mine that aren't doing all the best. Now, the high will score itself a 9 out of a 10. Overall experience is quite nice. This is one of the more intensive offerings that I've personally had on the 510 vape market. It really does have a nice cerebral focus to it, with about 20% complement going on to that body side. It is more relaxing and easing than the other cart that we had, that watermelon coconut, but at the same time, it's still high quality and overall an enjoyable experience. I do like that balance between mind and body, but I do like the focus on that cerebral effect. Now, with that being said, this ends up earning just 1 point shy of the beautiful herbage, a 39 out of 50. I'm so used to the 40 range with the flowers, folks. A 39 out of 50, just that single point shy of a beautiful herbage. And it literally was either the rigs or that final battery flavor profile that kept it from earning that accreditation. But still, high quality experience. Personally, I would recommend this one over the coconut and watermelon just because of the intensity of the effects. The coconut watermelon was good, but I found it to be a little bit too blended. It didn't have enough cerebral effect or a heavy enough body bake to really blow me away. This one is substantially better. So huge credit to Frooty Hooty and the folks that work at Simply Solventless, which also has Astrolabs in that brand. High quality product, folks. High quality product, and definitely something I would recommend for those of you who are looking to expand out of the purely distillate experiences on the market, especially in that 510 vape cartridge category, because there are some fantastic full spec and live rosin options, but they can be a little bit expensive at times. So utilizing this product as a transitionary option will be fantastic for those of you looking to widen your range of options and promotions for your customers. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. I hope you've all enjoyed. I will be looking forward to reviewing Cookie's Face Off with you tomorrow, or any of the other content or reviews you decide to check out after this one. Up in the corner is going to be the logo. Please hover over that, click that bell notification after you subscribe, or Don't forget to like and comment down below, because by ringing that bell notification and liking and commenting on these videos, you help me increase the overall viewage of my channel, and that is the most help that you can provide me right now. Down below, we have 2 videos for you. One's most recommended, the other one's most recently uploaded. And with that, we'll bring this one to a close. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one.